Hello everyone. Today I want to share a simple story with you. It's a story that is emotional, calm, and carries a lesson many of us need to hear right now. By the end of this story, you may understand how self-respect and self-worth can quietly change your life, not with a loud bang, but with a gentle shift from within. Our story takes place in River Mist Valley, a peaceful place where mornings began with soft golden light and the gentle sound of the river flowing through the hills. The air always felt fresh, and life moved slowly there, like a calm, steady breath. In this quiet valley lived a young woman named Mira. Everyone in the valley knew Mira for her kindness. She smiled easily, helped without ever being asked, and always tried to make others feel comfortable and seen. She was the one who listened patiently, even when she herself was the one who needed someone to listen to her. But Mira had a hidden weakness, a quiet struggle that she carried with her every day. She chased people who walked away. If someone ignored her, she tried harder to get their attention. If someone replied to her messages late, she immediately blamed herself, wondering what she did wrong. If someone made her feel small, she still stayed, hoping her patience would eventually be rewarded. Deep inside, Mira believed that love had to be earned, even if it meant hurting herself in the process. She thought that if she just tried enough, if she was kind enough, if she was patient enough, people would eventually choose to stay. Mira worked in Aunt Rahila's bakery every morning. The warm, comforting smell of fresh bread, sweet buns, and flaky pastries filled the street. The bakery was a lively place, always full of laughter, happy chatter, and the clinking of teacups. Customers came and went with smiles on their faces, their hands full of warm treats. But inside this cheerful space, Mira often felt deeply lonely. She felt like she was surrounded by people, but never truly seen, like a ghost in her own life. One afternoon, while walking home along the familiar winding path, Mira noticed a small brown sparrow sitting on an old wooden fence. One of its wings looked slightly bent, a little out of place. The bird seemed tired, yet it sat there with a strange calmness. Mira slowly knelt down, careful not to startle it, and whispered, "You poor little one." She reached into her pocket, found a few crumbs from a pastry, and placed them gently beside it. The sparrow didn't fly away. It stayed, and for a brief, fleeting moment, Mira felt a warmth spread through her heart. Something had chosen to stay with her, even if only for a short time. It was a small comfort, but it felt significant. The next morning, with a little bit of hope in her heart, Mira returned to the same spot on the fence. The sparrow was gone. A sharp, familiar pain filled her chest. "Everything leaves," she whispered quietly to the empty air. That deep, recurring sadness followed her all the way to the bakery. Aunt Rahila, with her wise and knowing eyes, noticed her silence and asked gently if she was all right. Mira forced a weak smile and said she was just tired, then turned back to her work, kneading dough with heavy hands and a heavier heart. That same week, something even more painful happened. Mira's closest friend, Rima, suddenly became distant. She stopped visiting the bakery for their usual afternoon tea. She stopped replying to Mira's messages. When Mira saw her in the busy market and waved, Rima turned away, pretending not to see her. Mira felt confused and scared. A knot of anxiety tightened in her stomach. She kept replaying their last conversations in her mind, desperately wondering what she could have possibly done wrong. One day, standing outside the bustling market, Mira finally gathered the courage to confront the silence. "Rima," she said softly, her voice barely a whisper. "Are you upset with me?" Rima looked at her with cold, indifferent eyes and replied, "I'm busy, Mira. You don't need to follow me everywhere." The words felt like ice, sharp and piercing. The vibrant noise of the market suddenly faded into a dull hum. Mira walked away with a tight chest and burning eyes, the world blurring around her. That evening, Mira sat alone by the river at her favorite spot, where the long, graceful branches of a willow tree touched the water. The sunset was painting the sky in breathtaking shades of orange and gold, a beautiful spectacle that she usually loved. But tonight, Mira felt only a profound sadness. Suddenly, she heard a familiar chirp. The small sparrow with the bent wing landed near her. Tears she had been holding back finally filled her eyes. "Why do I always have to chase people?" she whispered to the little bird. "Why does everyone leave?" As she sat there, lost in her sorrow, two girls from the village walked along the river path. They didn't notice Mira sitting under the willow tree, and she overheard their conversation clearly. One of them whispered and laughed, saying that Rima thought Mira was too clingy and too emotional. They joked that Mira followed her around like a shadow. Mira froze. Her hands went cold. The truth, spoken so carelessly, hurt deeper than anything before. Tears began to roll down her face, not soft, gentle tears, but painful ones, filled with years of silent chasing and self-doubt. She stayed there by the river, letting every wave of emotion wash over her. Hurt, shame, anger. And then, as the river continued its steady, unending flow, something changed. A realization settled into her heart, as clear and calm as the water before her. She wasn't losing people. The people who didn't value her were losing her. She gently reached out and touched the sparrow, and whispered, "If someone wants to leave, I should let them go." For the first time in a very long while, Mira felt something strong and new awaken inside her. It was self-respect. The next morning at the bakery, Mira walked differently. Her steps were steady, not rushed. Her smile was calm and real, not a performance for others. She served customers with a newfound presence, without glancing at her phone, without waiting for a message that wasn't coming. Aunt Rahila watched her closely, a knowing look in her eyes. "You look stronger today," she said. Mira nodded softly and replied, "I stopped chasing people." Aunt Rahila smiled, a proud, warm smile that reached her eyes. Days turned into weeks. Rima never returned. No apology ever came. But something unexpected and wonderful happened. New people slowly and naturally entered Mira's life. A girl who worked at the tailor shop started visiting her during breaks, sharing stories and laughter. A friendly customer who admired her dedication offered to teach her painting on the weekends. A young boy from the village started helping her feed the little sparrow, who now visited her every single day. These people didn't run. They didn't hide. They stayed. One evening, Mira stood outside the bakery as the sky turned a beautiful shade of pink. The sparrow sat nearby, calm and free, its wing now healed. Mira smiled gently, a genuine smile of contentment. Her life felt lighter, not because everyone stayed, but because she had finally, truly stopped chasing those who didn't want to. And if you are listening to this right now, I want you to remember this. You don't need to run after anyone. You don't need to earn your place in someone's life. The people who are meant for you will stay by choice, not by force. Choose self-respect, let go, grow, and allow the right souls to find you, just as they found Mira. Thanks for listening. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Take care.